If you've got any interest in property, you need to watch this. If you don't, scroll on through. This may have come up in your feed, it may have been sent to you. My name is Matt, I run Nicol Co Estate Agents. We've got offices in Droitwich, Worcester and Malvern, in Worcestershire, in the Midlands. The reason I'm recording this is because I wanted to give you our take on what's happening in the market at the moment. I think it's useful to give you some market commentary on what we're finding. And it's fair to say we didn't get the whoosh that we expected when kids went back to school in September. One of the reasons we feel that has been is because there's an autumn statement pending. I'm not going to get political because it's a risky territory to go into, but with autumn statements, you never know what's to come. And the autumn statement that's been announced isn't going to be until the 26th of November. At the time of recording this, 2nd of October, that's a long way away. That's a lot of time we've got to pass between now and then. So my point to you guys and what I've shared with my staff this morning is that are you going to be put off buying a property in 7 weeks' time with a government that we've got for another 3 years? Or is now actually a time to consider the purchase? Now, the reason I think now is a good time, it's a buyer's market. I'll talk to my sellers in a minute, but let me talk to the buyers first to let you know it is a buyer's market. Right now, there are lower viewing numbers. And the reason there are lower viewing numbers is because there's this little pause waiting to find out what's going to happen in the autumn statement. Fewer buyers with a lot of properties available is a good situation for buyers alone because you have less competition when you find something that's suitable. Therefore, when you negotiate, you may not be in a best and final situation against 3 other buyers, which we have experienced a lot of during the course of this year. Now, this is probably only be for the next 7 weeks. So it's a bit of a sweet spot to buy in. And that's why I'm recording this, because if you are on our feed, if you do follow us, if you follow me, I think we've got to advise you. I can't advise the UK market. I can't change the way that people are operating in other areas, but I can just advise you. And I'd rather give you a bit of an advantage over anyone that's out there that you'd be competing against with bids. So when the lockdown lifted, buyers came out, were able to start buying properties. You'll remember house prices shot through the roof. There was a stamp duty incentive. There's a lot of buyers, pent up demand, and you were bidding off against each other. Once one property sold, you could put the next one on for 10, 15 grand more and it would still sell. Right now, what you're seeing is quite a lot of choice, quite a few properties, quite a few of the same types of 3-bedroom semis or the same types of 2 up, 2 downs or 4-bed detached. And therefore, those sellers are having to compete with each other. Rather than the buyers having to compete with each other, the sellers are having to compete with each other to make their property as attractive as possible. That could be the finish, it could be what they offer, but it could be the asking price. And for you as a buyer, you could probably now look at buying one of 4 properties instead of fighting with 4 people to buy 1 property. So the reason I want to record this is to say to you buyers, don't delay until the 26th of November for an autumn statement, because ultimately on the 26th of November, whatever's going to happen is going to happen anyway. And if you're not committed to wanting to buy a property right now and you really are just waiting until next year, so be it, that's fine. But if you are thinking of buying something, you shouldn't be delaying. Once that happens, you'll probably find that buyers will come back to the market quite quickly. If there's a Bank of England base rate change again, which they're expecting 1 more before the end of the year, and it's at 4% currently, but if that comes down to start with a 3, say it goes to 3.75, you'll find more buyers come back in. Again, your advantage that you have at the moment will then be lost. To my sellers, whether you're on the market with me or on with another agent, just be a little bit open-minded to an offer on your property. Certainly if you're upsizing in this market, when you receive an offer that might be lower than you were expecting, don't dismiss it out of turn. Consider going to speak to the next person that you're looking to buy from, or go out and view some properties based on the offer you received and maybe reflect that offer onto the next one. Because if the most important thing to you is moving, and for many people it is, it's not about the pounds and pence, it's about getting the move to the right property for families or whatever it needs to be, you could still do that. Another positive about at the moment, I mean, we were probably topping out with about 200 sales in our pipeline. It's down by about 15 to 20%. That's just me being honest. It's a more manageable pipeline, and that means solicitors actually are finding that their pipeline's reduced as well. So they've now got more time to spend on your case, which means they can probably get the transaction through quicker. It'd be ambitious to think that a sale can go through before Christmas. With short chains and best will in the world, it could still happen, but it's unlikely that it will. But what you're not going to get into is that glut where actually you don't get updates, or it's down to your agent to do all the chasing for you to get a single update. So it's a good time to buy. I'd buy now because you're against less competition, the rates are competitive. If you start buying something with a rate based on what's available at the moment with the banks and building societies, and then the Bank of England base rate changes, you may find that your lender changes their rates and comes in with something more competitive. You can take advantage of that. You can often do a product change before you exchange contracts. So you can speak to your mortgage advisor or broker and make sure that you are aware of that. But now is a good time to get on the ladder. Personally, I would be doing the same. We've got an investment landlord seminar on the 9th of October. I think we're sold out, so I can't sell any more tickets, but we will be talking to our investors about now being the time to purchase. Don't delay, don't wait till everyone else is doing it. We'll go through the reasons that you should be looking for your investments right now when you have less competition amongst other buyers. Hope that's useful. Please leave comments below. Love to get your feedback. Send us a direct message, and if we can help you in any way, please do get in touch.